So I'm going to say to everybody, if you can hear me, good morning, good afternoon, wherever or whenever you are. My name is Bryn Williams, and on behalf of Flotilla for Change, I'd like to welcome you to this special event in our Stories of Solidarity series. Whether you're here live or on Zoom or watching back on YouTube, we're delighted to have you. If you are on YouTube, please remember to like, share, and subscribe. Also remember, and then I've already said to people that your image could be shared if you contribute during the conversation. So, about us. Flotilla for Change is a unique sailing initiative en route to the United Nations Climate Change Conference COP30, aimed at promoting sustainable travel and amplifying voices often otherwise excluded from global climate discussions. At the heart of this project is our solidarity with Indigenous communities and frontline defenders, individuals who fight every day for our shared planet, yet are rarely granted participation in environmental decision-making. Our Stories of Solidarity series will provide a platform for all these vital voices. Today, we focus on the Niger Delta, once a verdant region rich in biodiversity, but now devastated by decades of fossil fuel extraction. We'll hear from two activists from the Ogoni people in Nigeria, who have experienced firsthand the devastating impact of fossil fuel extraction on land, health, and livelihoods. They will also share their message to other communities who face similar challenges. Our first speaker is Nbani Barilule Friday, a climate activist and executive director of the Lekeh Development Foundation in Nigeria. He also coordinates the Nigeria Coal Network, collaborating with community-based organizations and mobilizers to combat coal mining activities. In 2025, Friday was nominated among the top 20 changemakers by the Luminary Awards. Friday, thank you very much for being with us today. Please take it away. Over to you, Friday.
Yeah, thank you so much. I'm honored to be here. Like the last speaker just said, I am Friday Nbani Barilule. I came from Ogoni in Niger Delta of Nigeria. I coordinate Lekeh Development Foundation. I will start by let you people know what Lekeh Development Foundation is doing and the areas of our interest. Lekeh Development Foundation started as a group trained by head of Mother Earth Foundation. We also receive capacity building training from Friend of the Earth Nigeria as a group of ecological defenders. So what we do is to monitor the air quality, to monitor the water quality, to monitor the level of gas flaring, incident of gas flaring, incident of oil spillage, and to verify also and report. We also report them to those international organizations and report them to government agencies, and also expect urgent attention to be addressed of such issue. And we started in 2016 in Nigeria, but in 2019, it was officially registered as a community-based organization. So we are community-based organization. We work with community people, and we also do a community action, or we call it a local action. These are the area, our strength, our power lies on communities. Without communities, there's no environment. So we make sure we work with communities entirely. Yes, I'll be so happy to share story of what our experience and my experience, my family experience, our community experience, or what we are passing through today, yesterday, and the one of tomorrow, I don't know yet. But the one I know and the ones that we have already experienced, the one I'm going to share, a life story from Ogoni communities, from Niger Delta communities. Niger Delta is a population of 31 million population, 31 million populations. And it is a home. It was supposed to be a home of biodiversities, a home of good animals, a home of a healthy environment, a home of resources for development. Because when you talk about natural resources, it is only in Niger Delta you can find them. It is only in Niger Delta that you can see them. But the difference is very obvious and very clear. In Ogoni, where I came from, I'm a proud son of Ogoni. I born into Ogoni environment, and I grew up in that environment, and I live in that environment, and I do all my engagement in that particular environment. And my experience from Ogoni, Ogoni is an environment of 1.5 million population. And in summary, I'm relating our story sharing today to oil extraction or fossil fuel extraction in the Niger Delta. In 1956, Shell came to Nigeria and discovered oil in very much quantity. That was in Rivers State, then Bayelsa. That was in 1956. And in 1958, they came to Ogoni and also discovered oil in Ogoni in 1958. And ever then, it was so interesting. The community people were also very interesting to see a source of oil that people thought it be linked to development. It is our mindset that we are close to development because oil is being discovered in our Dumont, in our territory, but reverse is the case. So our fathers, our forefathers welcomed this share, SPDC, and other IOC, international organization of oil companies. We welcome them, we receive them, and we embrace them. Moreover, they are from the Western country. And that gives us that sense of believing that development is coming because Nigeria was also colonized by the British then. So it was a full of joy, a full of hope that we are close to development. And it started ongoing ever then. Our narrative, our intention changed. What the people were expecting did not come to pass. Even the local contents, like to recruit some community people to participate in the process, the only one they were giving to us was security. We call it gate man. And it's keep on going, not until in 1990s, when Ken Solomon was mobilized some people and they came together and organized themselves and formed MOSOP. MOSOP is the movement for the survival of the Ogoni people. And ever since, MOSOP become a platform of driving, negotiating between the community and the oil companies and even the government. So it become a third party in the movement, a negotiators. So they talk to government, they talk to communities. What is the position of the communities on this oil extraction? What is the benefit of the communities on oil extraction? And they also talk to government of Nigeria. What would be the hope of the local people where this mining, this mineral is being extracted from? They also approach the company, the oil companies. At the end of the day, there was nothing tangible coming from those narratives. In return, what we see was a kind of brutalities and devise and rule strategies begin to find their way to devise some Ogoni's leaders, and the thing escalates to the extent that it resulted in killing our hero, our father, our voice, our leader, Ken Salonwiwa, and others. At that time, close to 2,000 people were seriously injured and reported deaths. But it was only concern we were, and that's 8 others that were prominent leaders that the international community were able to capture. But if you go deep to communities, a lot of people have stories to share. And in fact, it was a terrible situation. It was a situation where we could not reverse, and we don't want to experience it any longer. It was a very big terrible. And ever since, what have been the benefit of oil for the Ogoni, for Niger Delta? At the moment, we have seen that the oil that been a source of revenue for Nigeria government and also source of revenue for the IOC companies, they are becoming so adamant to it. That oil is touching our own life in different angles. The oil is touching our daily life in different ways. The oil is touching our way of culture, our way of living. It's storing away our culture. That oil that is giving them food is storing away our culture. The oil that they are talking about is the oil that is impacting our life. It's making us to be feel more marginalized. Even when we want to contest, you want to come out for political election in Nigeria, they will tell you like a condition, give us oil before we give you position. So it become it become the business of Niger Deltas and the business of Ogoni. And ever since then, we have recorded about 902,000 of oil spillage in different spots of Niger Delta. 900, in fact, all over Niger Delta now is totally disaster. It's totally disaster. There is nothing good from Niger Delta at the moment. And that was why we came together to, like a group, we call ourselves Lekeh Development Foundation. Lekeh, it is an Ogoni language. Lekeh is an Ogoni language that means a comfortable, a beautiful, and healthy environment where human beings can live comfortably and feel life. This is where we are at the moment. Last week, I visited one of the community, about 3 communities. On the 15th of this month, okay, on 15th of April, there were oil spillage reported from Ogoni community. It's ongoing till now. On the 28th of April, another oil spillage in Korokoro, one of the communities in Ogoni, it is ongoing till now. On the 6th of May, a heavy oil spillage from the Trans-Niger Delta pipeline occur in our friend's premises. It is this one is no longer at the farm. It is in the people where people are living. And it was so terrible. It is ongoing till now. And nobody like the NOSRA will write letter to them. We have reached out to them. Many agencies from NOSRA is the National Oil Spill Detection Response Agencies. We have signaled them. Nothing has been done. We are trying to reach out to share. No way to reach out to them anymore. They say they have already diverged from Nigeria. They are setting up their facility from Nigeria. And I don't know who is going to take liability of the assets that their facility that is still putting us into dangers and into problem. The spillage in Bidere right away have already displaced communities from their houses. I think I have a photo about that particular one. I will share it here. That spillage have already displaced communities from their houses. And there's nowhere community is going. They have to pack it out as if there is flooding. This is not flooding. This is spillage. This is oil spill. And the people are still ignorance about the dangers, the negative impact of this oil spillage, because it's something that we are used to. Our body system is used to. The mindset of the people is already used to. It is something that occurs day to day, week to week, month by month in different communities. And absolutely it become a normal condition for us to live in spirits, in oil spirits, in gas flaring. In 2005, there was a court case in Nigeria, and Nigeria judiciary declared gas flaring as illegal and as a violation to people's health and to human rights. At the same time, ever since then, that was 2005, ever since then, there is continuation, uncontrolled, unmitigated gas flaring in the region till date. Nothing has been done. Absolute nothing has been done. It is only when we follow the footsteps of our hero, Ken Saro-Wiwa, to move our matter out of Nigeria, maybe to the English court in London and to Linderland, other country. That is where Ogoni people sometimes feel hope or to seek for justice, for reparation for the local communities. If you think you can be in Nigeria and get justice from the judiciary system in Nigeria, that is totally failure. You are already on a failure path. And that is why we keep seeking for a collaboration, a solidarity from comrades from outside the country, because we could not get justice within our country. Politics and corruption also influence this oil spillage. And as I speak to you right away, Nigeria do not know the volume of oil that is being extracted per day in Nigeria. Nigeria government do not know. The volume of oil that is being exported from Nigeria in a day, Nigeria government do not know. It is so porous, and the corrupt system, it affects everything. That is why sometimes I say it's not climate change. It is system that changes. It's system change. Because if this system change is not being addressed, I don't think we can ever get justice until we have a system narrative that will change. However, I have some few photos that I share on the WhatsApp group. I don't know if you can help to display it here.
Yes, we can help.
Check
Friday.
WhatsApp group.
If you get those to us, then we will make. If you get those to us, then we'll through the WhatsApp group. Then we will make sure that they're with the YouTube video when that goes up and on the Zoom channel. Thank you very much. So Friday, thank you for that very much. I'm going to move on to Melody now, and hopefully you'll stay with us, and there'll be questions at the end. Is that okay?
Okay.
Yeah, fantastic. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for that, Friday. That was a very powerful witness. So we'll move on to our second speaker today. This is Melody Gold Barry-Yobo, a climate and environmental activist and a facilitator of sustainable development goal initiatives. Melody is a graduate of the Environmental Justice School in Pietermaritzburg, South Africa, a program run by Groundwork in partnership with the African Just Transition Network. She serves as a global ambassador for the Institute for Economics and Peace in Australia and has received training from the Health of Mother Earth Foundation. Melody, we're very happy to have you with us. Please take the stage.
Thank you, and greetings from Nigeria. I'm glad to be here. Okay, so I'm going to be sharing the impact of oil exploration in Ogoniland in the Niger Delta region of Nigeria, sending a message to other communities. Next slide, please. We thought it was development when oil was discovered in Ogoni communities and in the Niger Delta region, but it was indeed our blood. Next slide, please. Ogoniland is a territory and river state in the Niger Delta region of Nigeria. It is the third largest mangrove ecosystem in the world. The Niger Delta region is one of the most polluted places on earth, with over 1,481 oil wells, 275 flow stations, and over 77,000 kilometers of oil and gas pipelines, and over 120 gas flares. The Niger Delta remains one of the most polluted places. And Shell has operated in the region for over 6 decades, which is the primary cause of oil pollution in the Niger Delta region and in Ogoni communities. Next slide, please. The impact of oil exploration in Ogoniland and in the Niger Delta region has been devastating, affecting our environment, our health, the livelihood of the local population. We have environmental degradation. It has led to loss of livelihood. It has led to poor health and death. And there is social impact, which has led to a loss of occupation, food insecurity, loss of farmlands, cultural heritage, and displacement. Since oil was discovered in Ogoniland and in the Niger Delta region, our farmlands have been polluted, our crops are burned to cinder ash, and our lands are smothered with tar. People living in polluted communities, in devastated and impacted communities, have lost their livelihood, which is fishing and farming, because the Ogoni communities rely on fishing and farming as their source of livelihood, as their source of commercial business, and for feeding of their families and other communities. But today, it is no longer the same. It is not business as usual, because our once beautiful environment, our once green vegetation, our once large good mangrove system have been devastated with oil. The Ogoni child, the Ogoni daughter, the Ogoni woman, and the Niger Delta people lack access to clean water, which is a basic human fundamental right. We don't have any clean drinking water in Ogoniland or in the Niger Delta region. The health of our people have been impacted negatively as a result of oil pollution, as a result of environmental degradation, as a result of air pollution, gas flare. The rate of asthmatic attack is on the increase. The rate of infertility, the rate of congenital birth defect is high when it comes to Ogoniland. And research has shown, according to World Health Organization, that the people of Ogoniland and the Niger Delta region, that they drink water that is contaminated with benzene, a carcinogen at 900 times above World Health Organization standard. This is what the Ogoni child, this is what every Niger Deltans take in, year in and year out. And also, the issue of oil exploration has led to food insecurity, because it has led to a drastic reduction in agricultural activities. There is low. When we go to our farmlands, you can barely see harvest. The Niger Delta region, that was once the food basin of the country, is now facing famine, hunger, and starvation. The people of Ogoniland and the Niger Delta region live below the poverty line. They cannot afford $1 a day. This is the reality of every child born in Ogoniland and every child born in the Niger Delta region. And you may want to ask, being born in the Ogoni community or being born in the Niger Delta region, is it supposed to be a blessing or a curse? Because our people have been displaced from their ancestral land. They have become environmental refugees in their own place. They have lost cultural heritage. Oil spills have taken over the graves of our ancestors, the graves of our grandparents, the graves of our mother. You can no longer find graves in Ogoniland. This is because oil has taken over the graves of our ancestors. Next slide, please. As you can see before me, these are pictures of degraded land. This was once beautiful community. These were once rich mangrove. inhabited by people, by plants, by animals, by fishes, and all of that. But as you can see, this is the impact, this is the benefit we got from having shale operating in Ogoniland. This is the medal we won from shale for operating in the Niger Delta region. The water in the plastic bottle you're seeing before you is the rainwater that was fetched directly from the sky, not from the roof. You can see how polluted, you can see how contaminated the rainwater we have in Ogoniland. But this is the same water we drink every day. This is the same water the Ogoni women cook food with. And so you can imagine having benzene running in the wombs of our girls, of our daughters, and of our mothers. This is our own reality. This is what shale has given to every Ogoni child, has given to every Niger Deltans for operating in our communities and in our region. This is the only benefit we got. Because shale did not pay royalties to the Ogoni communities. Shale did not pay royalties to any Niger Delta community. In Ogoniland, the royalty share was expected to pay is known as Mideko. Mideko is what is expected that if you tap palm wine from a palm wine tapper's farm for 4 days, the 5th day is supposed to go back to the owner. But shale has refused to pay royalties called Mideko in Ogoni to the Ogoni people or to the Niger Deltas. This is because the government of Nigeria is complacent with the activities of shale in Ogoniland. They use the divide and rule tactics to inflict pain, to inflict untold hardship on the Ogoni people. This is a clear case of ecocide. It is a clear case of genocide against the people of Ogoniland and against the Niger Deltas. Next slide, please. The picture before us is a community called Bidere in Gokana local government area of Rivers State, Nigeria. This is a community in Ogoniland. This is a recent oil spill in the month of May, on the 15th of May, 2025. And people woke up in the morning only to see that the pipelines have broken. There is oil spillage everywhere on their farmland, in their compounds, and you can see that they use seal tape to seal the place. Because our people have constantly been excluded from the decision-making table. They've been enclosed, and they are always the ones. Ogoni people, Ogoni communities have always been externalized. And incidents as this has always led to displacement, because as it is, if you are unable to move from this environment to look for a place where you can survive, imagine the harm, the danger that comes with living in this kind of environment. This is our own reality. And this is the oil spill. The people of Bidere community, they are staying in this community. The government are yet to even react. They are yet to even send delegates to come and see what is going on in our own community. But this is the same crude oil. This is the same fossil fuel they have run this country on. Next slide, please. You can see communities members, residents of Bidere communities, all came up to see that their farmlands gone, to see that their communities is taken over by oil. And they are just there, they are baffling, they are thinking, they are asking questions in their mind, questions that don't have answers, questions that no one is willing to give answers to. And they are asking, they are wondering, how long do we live our lives like this? How long do we continue to live in abject poverty? How long do we continue to live in penury? How long do we continue to face this level of dehumanization in our own land? And where do we go to from here? Because the government is never going to make an accommodation, is never going to make a space for these people to be to move them away from this polluted environment, to move them away from this place to a different place. There is no such arrangement. It is what they live with. It is the air they breathe. It is their own reality. And nobody is going to give answers to all of this. Not even Shell. Because as of today, Shell have divested from the Niger Delta region without restoring back our environment to its original state. And we keep saying and we keep shouting and we keep talking, we keep taking over the street to tell Shell that divesting from the Niger Delta region, divesting from the Ogoni community without restoration of the environment to its original place, the way they met it, is criminal. And they have to pay for every pain they have inflicted on the Ogoni people, on the Niger Deltans. We are holding Shell responsible. Next slide, please. You can see community members, farmers with placards in their hand, clearly written that they want Shell to pay for their mess in Ogoni communities and in the Niger Delta region. They want Shell to clean up their mess. Shell should own up to the mess they have created in the Niger Delta region. During the Shell annual general meeting of 2025, I led a team of protesters to Shell headquarters in Port Harcourt, Rivers State, Nigeria, to remind Shell of its liability, to remind Shell of its mess, to remind Shell of the crime it has committed against the Ogoni people and against the Niger Delta people, and that they need to pay up. They need to clean up their mess in the Niger Delta region. And because we will continue to hold them accountable for the mess and for the pain they have inflicted on us, on our ancestors, on our children, on our mothers, and on our fathers and our sisters, we'll continue to hold Shell responsible. Next slide, please. You can see before us, it is tagged the story of Anita, a once vibrant girl, full of life and vigor, but lost to leukemia. She was born in Ogoniland on the 13th of April, 2010. She grew up like every other child born in Ogoniland, full of hope, full of dreams, full of aspiration. But her life was cut short by the age of 11, owing to the activities of Shell in Ogoni communities. One of the days, Anita came back from school and she said, "Mom, I am weak. My system is weak. My legs are weak." They took her to the hospital. They felt, oh, maybe it will be malaria, it will be typhoid or whatever. They went to the hospital, from one diagnosis to another, from one referral to another. They left the Bori General Hospital and they landed at Braithwaite Memorial Hospital in Port Harcourt, Rivers State, Nigeria. After spending over 6 weeks at Braithwaite Memorial Hospital in Port Harcourt, Rivers State, Nigeria, Anita was diagnosed with leukemia, cancer of the blood, which is one of the predominant diseases affecting every oil communities in Ogoni and in the Niger Delta region. And when they got to the hospital, before that diagnosis, the doctors kept asking her parents, where do you stay? Where do you come from? What quality, what kind of air do you breathe? And what kind of water do you drink? How did I know all of this? It is because I am the mother of Anita. The doctors would look me in the face and they would ask me, where do you come from? Where do you stay? What kind of air do you breathe from where you're coming from? And what kind of water do you drink? And then it dawned on me that I was born in Ogoni community and that I gave birth to her in Ogoni community, a place devastated as a result of oil exploration activity. And the air we breathe in, it is of the lowest quality, soot in the air. When you wake up in the morning and you put your handkerchief into your nostrils, you find black soot in your nostrils. We've had children born with black soot in their lungs. I mean, a week-old child with soot in the lungs. And I told the doctor that I am Ogoni and I live in the Ogoni community. And when the diagnosis came out and they said she has leukemia, cancer of the blood, the doctors look me in the face and they tell me, if you want to solve, if you want your other children to live, then we think you need to move away from that kind of environment because my environment is polluted. The air is polluted. The land, even the food we eat, the water we drink is contaminated with benzene. So no child is safe. As it is today, the life expectancy of the Niger Delta people stands at 41. And so you begin to ask yourself, am I not supposed to live beyond 41 years? As the clock ticks by each passing day, you begin to ask yourself, am I the next in line to die? Finally, on the 9th of May, 2021, few hours before Anita's passing, she looked me in the face and she said, Mom, I can't breathe. Oxygens were placed on her, but to no effect. I went bankrupt for her sake because I had to sell everything I had in my possession to it, hoping that she was going to survive, hoping that she was going to make it. But unfortunately, I lost her on the 9th of May, 2021. This is just the case of Anita. We have several other children queuing on the line to take a gold medal of death from Shell. They are participating. They are collecting awards. They are collecting medals for a competition they were never supposed to participate in. This is our reality. We have aged mothers battling with cervical cancer. They don't have the resources to even pay. They don't have the money to afford the health care that comes with such sicknesses and such diseases. This is just one of 1,000 cases we see every day in Ogoniland and in the Niger Delta region. And so this case, this story of my own daughter has sparked something in me. I wouldn't say something died in me. No, something lived in me. Something has pushed me to take over the streets. Something has pushed me to continue to lend my voice. Something has pushed me to be out there, to put my life on the line, to ensure that the people of Ogoniland and the people of the Niger Delta get the justice they deserve. and I'm not stopping anytime soon. Because I will get justice for my daughter, I will get justice for the Ogoni people, and I will get justice for the Niger Delta region. And until I get justice, I am not going to take a break. I am not going to rest from this struggle. Next slide, please. Because of all of the impact and what we have faced, that was why we had MOSOP, which is Movement for the Survival of Ogoni People, that was formed in 1990 in response to the environmental degradation and human rights abuses faced by the Ogoni people in the Niger Delta region. And MOSOP was led by renowned writer, environmentalist, and activist Ken Ulebeson Saruwiwa. Before the killing of Ken Saruwiwa and the Ogoni 9, MOSOP organized peaceful protests in 1990 at Shell's facility in Imoechem in Eche, in Rivers State of Nigeria, which resulted in the death of 80 unarmed demonstrators and the destruction of 495 houses by the Nigerian mobile police. Because issues of oil exploration or oil activities in Ogoni or in the Niger Delta region is something that is heavily backed by the Nigerian government. And so there is always that issue of intimidation, use of force, and brutality on innocent community people, on peaceful protesters, on peaceful demonstrators. On January 4th, 1993, MOSOP organized a peaceful protest to raise awareness about oil exploration in the Niger Delta. And on 30th April, a demonstration against the Rumekpe Bonu pipeline construction resulted in casualties that led to the killing of 10 persons by the Nigerian soldiers. Mind you, these were unarmed protesters. These were unarmed community people demanding for their rights. In this part of the world where we find ourselves, in Ogoni community and in the Niger Delta region, it is a crime to demand for your rights. When you demand for your rights, you are either threatened or you are shut up forever. And how will they shut you up? It is either they kill you, it is either they send assassins after you, or they make you disappear without trace. And that is why Ken Saruwiwa said that you can only kill the messenger, but you cannot kill the message. Yes, Ken Saruwiwa was killed, but the voice of Ken Saruwiwa still lives on, still speaks for the Ogoni people, for the Niger Delta, and for Africa till tomorrow. The move for the survival of the Ogoni people led to the Ogoni rights that was adopted on August 26, 1990. What were they demanding for? They were demanding for autonomy. They were demanding for economic emancipation. They were demanding for political fairness. It will interest you to know that in as much as Nigeria depends on the oil from the Ogoni region and the Niger Delta region, the Ogoni people has never held any political office, any major political office in this country. We have been relegated to the background. We are marginalized. We are deprived. Even the oil companies functioning in Ogoni communities or in the Niger Delta region, you can never find an Ogoni man, an Ogoni child, or the Niger Delta child working in such oil companies. Of course, those who want to work in such companies. And when they get there, they are being rejected. And they tell them that your people are out there protesting, your people are out there complaining, your people are out there saying there should be no fossil fuel extraction from the region. So we cannot give you a place to work in this environment. You cannot work in this company. And moreover, when the people from the Ogoni region, when the people from the Niger Delta region, when they go into some recruitment like the armed forces in the country of Nigeria, they fail the medical test. As a result of the fact, oil exploration, as a result of the soot in the air that they breathe in, they fail the medical test and they are not able to meet into the military in this country. Ogoni at present, with increasing pressure from MOSOC, from civil society organization and other international organizations, the federal government flagged off the Ogoni cleanup exercise in Ogoniland in June 2016. But this has been fraught with high-level politicking, corruption, and dominance by the Hausas and the Yorubas, because these are the major tribes in Nigeria. It is a cleanup for the Ogoni people. It was supposed to be a cleanup for the Niger Delta region. But after over 5-6 years of going into operation, we are yet to feel the impact of the cleanup. Even the guidelines and the recommendations made from the UNEP reports are not followed. They are not being implemented. The cleanup they claim they are doing in Ogoni community is nothing but a sham. Because we are still battling with low agricultural yield, there's contaminated water, aquatic life and habitat is lost. And from the UNEP report, it was recommended that it is going to take a minimum of 25 to 30 years to clean up the Ogoni environment and to restore it back. But barely 6 years into the said cleanup, recently, the federal government of Nigeria has declared its intention to resume oil exploration activities in Ogoniland. And if the UNEP report says it is going to take a minimum of 25 to 30 years to clean up the Ogoni communities, and we have barely 6 years into this activity, does the federal government of Nigeria have the intention to run the cleanup and the new oil resumption activity in Ogoniland side by side? How are they going to clean up the place while resuming oil exploration activity in the same place that is yet to be restored? But we will keep talking. We will keep shouting until our voices are heard. Next slide, please. And I really want to send this message out to every community where fossil fuel is being extracted. And I want to say that Ogoni community has not become rich as a result of the discovery of oil, but rather Ogoni community has been impoverished by the day. And so don't think that the discovery of oil in your community is going to bring about development. It is going to take your lives. It is going to take away your livelihood. It is going to take away your laughter and your source of joy. It is going to take everything away from you. It is going to give you restriction because certain areas of your own land and your communities, you will not be able to access. And I want to send this message out to our Senegalese counterpart, that oil was just discovered in Senegal in 2024. And possibly there's this joy in them that Senegal is now one of the countries that is going to be exporting oil, that your economy is going to increase, there's going to be a boost, and all of that. Those are lies. The reverse is going to be the case. Your living standard is going to reduce by the day, and your life expectancy is going to reduce. They are going to take your fishing livelihood, your fishing practice from you, and you will be left with nothing but abject poverty. And so I want to encourage every other community like Senegal to build people's power and movement to resist fossil fuel projects in their countries and in their communities, and ensure to hold polluters accountable for their mess they have created. Take a look at Nigeria, take a look at Ogoni, and take a look at Niger Delta region. Our life is no better with oil. And we are advocating that they should leave the oil in the soil. They should give us fishes and not oil. They should give us agriculture and not oil. They should give us water and not gas flare and black suits. And I want to leave this message with you. And I hope that you're able to build the power, the movement, and the voice you need to overcome this phase of your life. Thank you.
And thank you, Melody. Thank you very much. I'm going to take a few minutes now to open up for anybody's reactions to what Melody and Friday has to say. For any further questions, please put your hands up if you want to say something. Eleanor, go ahead.
Thank you so much, Friday, Melody. Thank you both so much for making time firstly to share experiences with us, but also such powerful testimonies. Melody, the story of your beautiful daughter it's just heartbreaking. And I know there are so many other children affected and adults affected in so many ways through the activities of the oil exploiters in the region. I admire your activism, your strength, your courage. I wanted to ask both of you very briefly whether you could just share with us some thoughts about what it is like to be a human rights or an environmental activist in the Niger Delta. You spoke of the experience of Kemsar Weaver and the other Ogoni leaders who were killed all those years ago, but of course risks remain very high for this kind of work that you do. And I was interested in just hearing how you continue your work faced with the risks that you face. How do you think about those risks as you raise your voice and you call for accountability? Thanks.
Okay. Well, when it comes to the risks involved, it is very high. This is because Nigeria's economy depends on oil to survive. This country, Nigeria, is run on proceeds of oil. And so anyone who's dares to stand in the way or to speak against oil resumption in Ogoniland, you're already marked. Just yesterday, I had a call, and the person said to me, you know, Melody, I understand your activism and all of that, but I'd like to advise you, you don't need to always take the center stage. You don't need to always be at the spotlight. I saw you in front of Shell facility in Port Harcourt, Rivers State, Nigeria, doing a demonstration, leading a team of protesters. And he said to me, do you know that Shell can kill you? Shell can kill you in ways that you can never imagine. But am I afraid to die? No. I'm not afraid of dying. If my 11-year-old daughter has passed on, at least I've lived twice her years. And so what should I be afraid of? Because as long as you keep talking against oil resumption, as long as you keep taking center stage to advocate against oil extractivism, to talk about fossil fuel, the industry, the government is going to be against you. The security agencies is going to be against you. There's going to be a lot of confrontation. There's going to be a lot of intimidation. I remember some years back, we went out for a campaign against black suits. And the police division in Bori, they fired gunshots into the air that dispersed the people who came with us for that particular campaign. So it means that there is going to be intimidation every day in order to shut you up, in order to send you back to the house.
Thank you, Melody. Friday, you wanted to come in?
Yeah, let me just add a voice to thank you, Melody, for the answer. But most importantly is from the Melody presentation, it's obvious that the people are already living in an environment of highly contaminated, highly polluted, and that is also a risk. When you are living in an environment where air pollution level is like 900 times above the World Health Guideline, you are taking a risk. When you live in an environment where you are taking 900 times of benzene and you are drinking water, you are taking a risk. When you live in an environment where I've been declared like the most polluted environment on the planet, that is a big risk that you are taking. The climate change in Nigeria, in Niger Delta particularly, is a risk. The life expectancy that have reduced to 41 years, that is the risk. So I don't know what kind of risk we should be afraid of again. The one from federal government of Nigeria, of course, obviously they keep calling us. Just of recent, DSS, they encounter us where we were organizing a program with farmers. They arrest, and a lot of things have been happening. But in all, they are human beings. They do that to see whether we can go back from our position. So when they say that these people are consistently doing what we are doing, they also, some of them who are knowledgeable, they know we are talking the right. And they are pretending that they are sleeping when they are not sleeping. That is where the bone of contention lies on. When the government of Nigeria pretend that this is something, let's get away of this. Or for example, somebody is sleeping and you are pretending that they're sleeping, it's difficult to wake that person up. When you know what to do, but you refuse because of selfish or self-centered profit making. So in the risk aspect, it's obvious, that is simple too, it's obvious. And that's why I always advise my team members from time to time, make sure you have your passport, make sure you have your passport, and make sure maybe visa can be inside your passport, because at any moment, anything may happen. And I will be there. I'm also network with people like you. Recently, I also joined Amnesty International Nigeria as a member. So I'm just trying to build a kind of a solidarity that will still give us a confidence and assurance to be on the street, to be what we are doing. I'm just adding an answer to what Melody just said as a response. So if we have taken a fear in the aspect of fear because of the risk involved or because government is coming after us, then we are not helping the communities. Melody spoke about oil reduction in Ogoni. It is ongoing till now. And they keep checking us. They keep, in fact, they were even tracking our conversation on WhatsApp. They keep tracking it. I just laugh because I also observed that. So it's not a thing that we are not aware of it. We are aware of it, and we are also building people power, community power, and that is why our action always build with community people. That synergies, that collaboration with community, whether we like it or not, communities still hold the power. Communities still hold that power. When once you're on the side of community, you are on the side of majority. It's just that sometimes we are not close to political powers and finance. If not, I'm still confidently believe strongly that community still have the power. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Friday. Did anyone else want to come in after that, or just echo what I want to say, which is thank you so much, for Friday and Melody, for showing us both the strength of individual commitment and power, but also reminding us of the strength of that when it's combined with community, and the remarkable resilience you've had to show in these terrible circumstances. I haven't got the words to really describe how awful the things that have happened to you and are happening to your community are. But I hope you realize you have our sympathies and our solidarities and our gratitude for bringing this message to us. And unless anyone else has anything to say, I'm going to close it there. Thank you to all of you who've come. Thank you to all of you who are going to see this in the future. And good night. Be safe.